Groovy English Podcast.
Hey there! Welcome back to Groovy English. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Aiden. We share real stories, useful tips, and everyday English to help you grow with confidence.
Wherever you are in your English learning journey, we're glad you're here.
If you're enjoying the podcast, feel free to like, subscribe, or share it with a friend.
Let's get started.
Hello, Groovy English friends. I'm Olivia, and welcome to today's episode where we're going to explore something really exciting, the power of a single sentence. You might be wondering, how can one sentence have power? But the truth is, in English and in life, a single sentence can open doors, start friendships, change your mood, or even change your life. Today, I want to show you how focusing on just one sentence at a time can transform your English learning journey. Let's start with the idea that sometimes the biggest obstacles in language learning come from overwhelming ourselves. We want to speak perfectly, use complex grammar, and sound fluent all at once. But that's a lot to ask. Breaking it down to a single sentence makes it manageable, approachable, and even fun. Think about it. Every conversation is made up of many sentences. If you master one sentence well, its meaning, pronunciation, and rhythm, you've already made a big step forward. That's why I encourage learners to start small and build confidence with one sentence at a time. A single sentence can serve many purposes. It can be a question, a statement, a request, or even a compliment. And when you learn to use sentences effectively, you communicate clearly and connect with others, no matter your level. Let me share a story. When I was first learning English, I focused on memorizing long paragraphs, but I quickly felt overwhelmed and frustrated. Then I switched to practicing one sentence at a time, simple sentences like, "How are you?" or "Can you help me?" That small change made all the difference. Each sentence you learn is like a building block. When you have a good collection of sentences, you can mix and match them to express a wide range of ideas. It's like having a toolbox where each tool is a sentence waiting to be used at the right moment. And here's the cool part. When you focus on a sentence, you get to practice pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, and intonation all at once. It's a holistic learning experience wrapped up in a simple package. Let's talk about the emotional power of a single sentence. Have you ever received a compliment like, "You did a great job," or a friendly, "Good morning"? These short sentences can brighten your day and build connections. Learning to say similar sentences in English helps you create positive moments with others. In fact, mastering a sentence with the right tone and expression can make your English sound natural and confident. For example, compare "I'm fine" with "I'm fine, thanks," or "How can I help?" versus "Is there anything I can help you with?" Small differences in sentences carry big meaning. When you repeat a sentence enough times, it becomes automatic. This is called chunking, and it helps your brain process language faster. Instead of thinking about every word, your brain recalls the whole sentence as one unit, making speaking more fluent. Another benefit of learning a sentence is that it's easier to practice in real conversations. Instead of worrying about what to say next, you have a ready-made sentence to share. This confidence can encourage you to speak more often and with less fear. One fun way to practice is by changing parts of a sentence to make new ones. For example, take I like coffee. Now change it to I like tea or I don't like coffee. This simple variation helps you learn sentence patterns and vocabulary quickly. You can also learn sentences from your favorite movies, songs, or TV shows. When you find a sentence that feels useful or interesting, write it down and practice it out loud. This helps you connect English with culture and makes learning more enjoyable. When you master the power of a single sentence, you also improve your listening skills. You start to recognize common sentences in conversations and understand their meaning faster. This makes listening less confusing and more rewarding. Let's not forget that some sentences carry important social functions. Sentences like, "Could you please repeat that?" or "I don't understand" are essential tools for managing communication and making your learning smoother. And what about asking questions? Questions are powerful sentences that open up dialogue. For example, "Where are you from?" or "What do you like to do?" These sentences invite conversation and help you make friends. If you want to boost your confidence, practice sentences that express your feelings and opinions. Saying, "I think this is interesting," or "I feel happy today," lets you share who you are and connect emotionally with others. Another tip is to practice sentences that help you in everyday life. Sentences like, "Where is the bathroom?" or "How much does this cost?" are practical and boost your independence when you travel or shop. Try recording yourself saying a sentence and then listening back. This simple exercise helps you notice your pronunciation and intonation, giving you a chance to improve little by little. Don't be afraid to make mistakes when practicing sentences. Every error is a learning opportunity. The goal isn't perfection, but communication. The more you speak, the better you get. You can also create a sentence bank, a notebook, or app where you collect useful sentences. Review and practice these regularly. Over time, you'll build a personal library of sentences ready to use in conversations. When you combine sentences, you start telling stories. For example, yesterday I went to the park. It was sunny and I saw many people. These sentences connect to form meaning and show your growing ability. Speaking of stories, practicing sentences that describe actions or feelings helps you share your experiences naturally. For example, "I'm tired today," or "I enjoyed the movie" are simple but powerful sentences for everyday chats. You might also want to learn sentences that express politeness and respect, like, "Thank you very much," or "Could you help me, please?" These sentences help you build positive relationships and show good manners. A powerful sentence can also encourage or motivate someone. Sentences like, "You can do it," or "Don't give up," carry positive energy and make you a better friend and listener. When you focus on a sentence, you also get better at reading and writing. Sentences are the building blocks of paragraphs and stories. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to express yourself in all skills. Try role-playing conversations using your sentences. Practice greetings, introductions, ordering food, or asking for directions. Role-play helps you prepare for real-life situations and reduces anxiety. When learning a new sentence, pay attention to stress and intonation. The way you say a sentence can change its meaning. For example, "Really" said with rising intonation shows surprise, while flat intonation might sound like a question. Sentences also carry cultural meaning. Understanding when and how to use certain sentences shows your awareness of English-speaking cultures. For example, "How are you?" is usually a greeting, not a real question in many places. Don't forget the power of silence too. Sometimes a well-placed pause after a sentence can add emphasis and meaning. Learning when to pause helps your speech sound natural and engaging. If you feel stuck, pick one sentence and use it every day in different situations. Try changing the context, your tone, or who you say it to. This practice helps you internalize the sentence deeply. You can also combine a sentence with gestures or facial expressions to make your meaning clearer. Body language adds power to your words and helps you communicate more effectively. One of the most important reasons to focus on a single sentence at a time is that it builds your confidence. When you successfully say a complete sentence, it feels like a real achievement. That feeling encourages you to keep practicing and pushing your limits. Let's talk about how sentences can help you in different situations. For example, when you're traveling, knowing sentences like, "Can you show me on the map?" or "What time does the bus arrive?" makes your experience much smoother and less stressful. Sentences also help you in the workplace. Simple phrases like, "Could I ask a question?" or "I'll send you the report by tomorrow" show professionalism and clear communication, which are essential for success. Another advantage is that sentences give you patterns to imitate. English has a rhythm and flow, and practicing whole sentences helps you catch that natural flow instead of sounding choppy or robotic. When you learn sentences with connectors like because, although, or so, you start to see how ideas link together. For example, "I stayed home because it was raining" helps you express cause and effect clearly. It's also helpful to learn polite phrases in sentence form. Saying, "Would you mind opening the window?" or "Could you please speak more slowly?" makes your English sound polite and friendly. These sentences are very practical and show respect in conversation. If you practice questions like, "What do you think about this?" or "Can you recommend a good restaurant?" you encourage interaction and make conversations more dynamic. Questions are a great way to connect with people. Sentences also help you express your preferences and opinions. Sentences like, "I prefer tea over coffee," or "In my opinion, this movie is fantastic," let you share your unique perspective. This makes conversations more personal and interesting. You can also practice sentences that talk about the past. For example, "I visited Paris last summer," or "She finished her work early." These sentences help you tell stories and share experiences. Similarly, practicing sentences in the future tense, like "I will call you tomorrow," or "We are going to the party next week," helps you talk about plans and intentions, which is essential for everyday communication. Another way sentences give you power is by helping you make requests. Instead of just saying, "Help," you can say, "Could you help me with this, please?" which is clearer and more polite. You can learn sentences that express emotions too. Saying, "I'm excited about the trip," or "I feel a little tired today," helps you connect emotionally with others, which deepens relationships. If you find it hard to remember sentences, try visualizing the situation where you would say them. For example, imagine you're at a restaurant and say, "Could I see the menu, please?" This mental rehearsal makes learning more effective. Sometimes you can combine sentences to make your speech smoother. Instead of saying two short sentences, you can connect them with words like and, but, or because. For example, I like coffee, but I prefer tea. Sentences also allow you to practice different sentence types, statements, questions, commands, and exclamations. Each type has its own structure and purpose, so mastering them gives you variety in your communication. When you practice exclamatory sentences like, "What a beautiful day," or "That's amazing," you add emotion and enthusiasm to your English, making conversations more lively. It's good to learn how to use contractions in sentences, like I'm instead of I am, or they're instead of they are. Contractions make your speech sound more natural and less formal. Another tip is to notice sentence stress, which words you say more loudly or clearly. For example, in I really like chocolate, the word really carries emphasis. Practicing stress makes your sentences more understandable and expressive. Sometimes, learning a sentence means learning the culture behind it. For example, saying bless you when someone sneezes is common in English-speaking countries, and knowing when to say it shows cultural awareness. You can also learn conversational filler sentences like, let me think, that's a good question, or I'm not sure. These sentences give you time to think and make your conversations flow more naturally. If you want to sound more fluent, practice sentences with linking words and phrases like, as a result, on the other hand, or for example. These help you organize your ideas and sound more coherent. Try to learn sentences that involve giving advice or suggestions, such as you should try this restaurant or I recommend studying every day. These are useful in many social and professional situations. Sentences can also help you express agreement or disagreement politely. For example, I agree with you or I see your point, but these phrases keep conversations respectful and productive. If you're working on your listening skills, practicing sentences aloud helps you recognize those same sentences when you hear them. This builds your ability to understand English in real-life conversations. It's also helpful to practice negative sentences, like, I don't like spicy food, or she isn't coming to the party. Negative sentences are essential for expressing preferences, refusals, or explanations. Sentences that express possibility or ability are also useful, like, I can speak a little French or it might rain tomorrow. These help you talk about uncertainty or skills. When you learn polite requests and offers, like, would you like some coffee or can I help you with that? You show kindness and good manners, which make interactions smoother. Try recording your sentences and comparing your pronunciation with native speakers. This self-review helps you improve and feel proud of your progress. Another tip is to practice sentences in different moods, statements, questions, commands, or exclamations. This variety makes your English more expressive and natural. Bear in mind that mastering a single sentence is not the end, but the beginning. Each sentence you learn is a step on your journey toward fluent, confident English. Celebrate your progress and keep building one sentence at a time. Another great benefit of mastering single sentences is that it reduces the pressure you put on yourself. Instead of worrying about perfect grammar or complicated vocabulary, you focus on clear communication. This mindset shift makes learning much more enjoyable. Sentences also help you develop your listening skills. When you recognize common sentences in conversations, you understand more and feel less overwhelmed. It's like unlocking a secret code that makes English easier to follow. You can also use sentences to practice different English accents. For example, try saying your sentence in an American accent, then a British accent, or even an Australian accent. This fun exercise improves your pronunciation and exposes you to different varieties of English. When you learn sentences that express sympathy or encouragement, like, "I'm sorry to hear that," or "You're doing great," you become a more empathetic communicator. These small sentences can have a big emotional impact in conversations. It's helpful to notice how native speakers link words together in sentences, called connected speech. For example, "What are you doing?" sounds like "what you doing." Practicing sentences with connected speech makes your English sound natural and fluent. If you're preparing for exams like IELTS or TOEFL, practicing common sentence structures helps a lot. For example, sentences used in introductions, describing experiences, or expressing opinions give you a solid foundation to build your answers. Sometimes, focusing on a single sentence helps you stay motivated. When you see yourself improving with each sentence you learn, it builds momentum and confidence that fuels your language journey. Using sentences also helps you develop your writing skills. When you write emails, messages, or essays, clear and correct sentences make your writing easier to understand and more professional. Another useful strategy is to practice sentences with a partner or tutor. They can give you feedback on your pronunciation and grammar, and you can practice responding naturally with your sentences. This interaction boosts your speaking confidence. It's worth mentioning that language learning is a personal journey. Focus on sentences that matter to you and match your goals. Whether you want to travel, work, or make friends, a single sentence can open the door to your dreams. Sometimes, a single sentence can change the entire course of a conversation. For example, a simple "thank you for your help" can turn a formal exchange into a warm and friendly interaction. These small moments build trust and make people want to keep talking with you. It's also important to remember that learning sentences is a way to build your own unique voice in English. You don't have to copy others perfectly. Instead, find sentences that feel natural to you and adapt them to your personality and style. Don't forget to celebrate your progress. Each sentence you master is a step forward, no matter how small it seems. This positive reinforcement keeps your motivation high and makes learning feel rewarding every day. Practice makes perfect, but practice with purpose makes progress. When you focus on meaningful sentences that you can actually use, your learning becomes much more effective and enjoyable. Choose sentences that fit your daily life and interests. Finally, always keep your sense of curiosity alive. Let each sentence be a doorway to new words, new ideas, and new experiences. The power of a single sentence is not just in its words, but in the endless possibilities it opens up for your English journey. Learning English is a journey, and every sentence you master is a milestone. Celebrate your progress and be proud of how far you've come, one sentence at a time. Thank you for listening to Groovy English today. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend and practice your favorite sentences together. Until next time, keep it groovy and keep speaking, one sentence at a time.
Your English is shining brighter by the minute. Hit that next video to keep leveling up your skills. Or dive into our other episodes for more secrets to talk like a pro. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to join the Groovy English crew.